Welcome to our video where we will be talking about OneSoil's productivity maps. So let's dig straight in. So we'll select our field in the field list as we would for any other activity in OneSoil. So it opens up our NDVI map as usual. We're interested in the field report tab today. If these maps don't show up straight away, you'll need to analyze the fields. So that's just as easy as checking the box and saying you want to analyze that field. Analysis takes quite a long time, so it might take 3 or 4 hours to get your productivity maps through because it's looking at a vast amount of data. So what are these productivity maps? So 2016 we have a map for. That map is created from every NDVI, every clear NDVI image that's taken from that field in that year. They're all stacked together and to create one map. So essentially what you're seeing in these maps is a virtual yield map. So this won't tell you exactly what the field's yielded, but what it will tell you is where's yielded better and where's yielded poorer. So the red areas are showing that that area of the field that year has not yielded as well as the green areas. So what we do to create the productivity map is we take up to 7 years worth of data and we stack all of that together. So this map on the left is created from all 5 of these maps. If you don't agree with one of these maps on the right, you can edit the list and remove one of the fields, which will then update the productivity map. This zone stability percentage here tells you how stable the zones are within the productivity map. What essentially that means is that if you've got 100% stability, the zones will not differ at all through the years. So which is it would never happen. You would never get to 100% stability, but the higher that figure, the more stable the zones are. So the map can be used over more years. It's more certain. 63% as a stability score is still really good. So, you know, I would have full confidence in using this map for variable rate seed, which is the primary use of the productivity map. The other data we're looking at with productivity is we're looking at soil brightness and elevation data. So soil brightness is a combination of soil type and organic content. Elevation data will sort of show you, you know, where it's higher and lower in the field, so you'll have an idea where your fields are sloping and how steep they are. The other data you can load into the field report is basically any layer of data that you want. So if you've had P&K mapping done, so in this field we've got grid mapping for PKM GPH, we can start looking at that data in here as well. And if we go to the data tab, you can see that data in here, and also we have some yield data in here as well, which can be brought in straight from the files that come out of the combine. So if we go back to field report and let's expand our productivity map so we can start looking a bit more in detail. We have the split screen view, and then you can start looking at different layers in combination with your productivity map. So the soil brightness data, like I said before, is basically a cross between organic content and soil type. The good thing about this is that you can start to compare how a crop has performed to what your soil type is. So if we were to have EC or EM scanned for soil type, so a scanner in the actual field, these are the sorts of results we would be getting on the right hand side. So you can see at the top of this field, it's the heaviest area of the field. It doesn't really show you where this poor yielding bit is. So in this instance, we would be looking at asking the question why this area is performing poorly. It obviously has performed poorly over multiple years to get put into the productivity map. So we want to know why it's doing it and whether upping a seed rate in that area is the correct thing to do or not. So the other things you can do, you can compare with lots of different layers. So we're going to compare soil brightness with a phosphate map here. So you can see where we've got poor phosphate is also in the heaviest areas of the fields, or lower phosphate, not poor phosphate. So let's hop back to the productivity map. You can see in this light area of the field, we're not yielding as well. So in those areas of the fields, there are a few things that we might ask ourselves. So we might ask ourselves, is it water holding capacity that's causing that area of the field to perform not as well as the rest? Is it tiller numbers? You know, if it's the lightest area of the field, it might not be tillering as well as the rest of the field. So should we put more seed in to get more stems? Essentially, you end up with the same amount of stems as an area that's yielded, that's tillered well, but a different way of going about it. Is it a case of just wanting some more nitrogen? You know, is it a hungry area of the field and put more nitrogen on? So the beauty about OneSoil is that you can ask that initial question. You can either take the approach of let's do our variable rate seed, or looking at the spring doing variable rate nitrogen to try and push that area on. Might you add more organic content in there to get water holding capacity up? So they're the sorts of things that you can ask yourself using this program. As a standard approach, we would be looking at putting more seed rate in all the red areas, slightly less in the blue areas, and green would be our standard. The other thing you can do with these productivity maps is you can target soil sampling. So we could divide this up based on productivity to then actually understand if we did a soil type test on here, is it lighter land? Is it low organic content? Should we be adding organic content? Is it low in other things? So you can see we had it grid mapped for pKm GPH. We may also want to look at soil texture and organic content. So that is a brief overview on productivity maps. If you would like any more information on this, then please feel free to contact the Precision Department at AgroVista.